Prologue. The Hollow Echo. The short blade slid between his ribs like a whisper. In that moment, he didn't feel any pain. Just the coldness of steel, then the warmth of his blood slowly running down his abdomen as it turned cold again. He staggered forward, caught himself against the cave wall, and turned. Their eyes met. Her silhouette shrouded in shadow, hair veiled by darkness, her face half swallowed by the cave's gloom. Only the faintest outline was visible, her trembling hand still gripping the blood-covered hilt. The shimmer of a tear sliding down her cheek, caught by the starlight filtering through the cracks from above. Her expression, though hidden by the darkness, would have been unreadable even if one could see it. Was it sadness? Anger? No, it was nothing like that. Empty would be the most appropriate word to describe her seemingly soulless face. "Why?" he asked, voice cracking barely a whisper, the confusion clearly noticeable on his face. Though her lips seemed to be moving, only silence reached his ears. That silence, however, was broken as his knees buckled and the world around him suddenly started spinning. A heavy force had slammed into his ribs, flinging him across the stone floor. Before he could breathe, another blow crushed into his face, the impact jarring through his skull as he collapsed, coughing up blood. Shadows danced at the edges of his vision. Half a dozen figures, maybe more, rushed in, masked and voiceless, blending into the dark. What followed was a horror of flesh and bone. A storm of kicks and strikes to his head, ribs, arms, and back. Their intent was not to simply kill him. They wanted to see him broken first. Despite the unbearable pain, anger-fueled adrenaline kept him conscious. He roared. The sound ripped raw from his throat, a savage, broken sound. This only fueled them further. The beating intensified. The echoes of his suffering rang through the cave, joined by the sickening cracks of splintering bone. She watched, frozen. The masked figures didn't notice the shift, but she did. The change in his eyes. They weren't clouded by despair. They weren't pleading for help. They were cold, steady, focused. If she could read his thoughts, it would have been clear. He would never forgive, never forget.
"The bastard is still breathing," said a muffled voice behind a mask.
"How is that possible?"
said another.
"Enough! Let's end this!"
yelled a third voice, noticeably bothered. One figure knelt beside him, whispering something against his ear, but none of it registered. Not really. All he could see was her, still standing there, still silent. Then the blade came down across his back. Everything went black. He didn't know how long the darkness had lasted, only that something stirred within it. A flicker, a pulse, a sound, not heard but felt, like a heartbeat of light. Then a voice, familiar, yet distant.
Talyen Velorne Lloran. We meet again.
His skin, began to hum. Blood that had cooled surged with radiant heat. Along his back, near the deepest wound, motes of silver-blue light glimmered, dancing beneath torn flesh. Veins lit up like circuits, fractal patterns igniting across his left forearm. Faint, seemingly incomplete runes flared to life, then faded into his skin. His eyes opened. Barely. The cave was silent now. They had left him for dead. Their mistake.